lines and bumps and all
Oh,
that
you
good stuff.
you brought up the German subtitles. I was so every now and then I'd look down and I'd be like, what word is that? What word? And I wasn't even sure if it was German sometimes. Like at first I thought it was German, and then I went, maybe this is like Swedish or something. Did you know it was German for sure?
It seemed aggressive, so I assumed
Wait,
that it was German.
The writing seemed aggressive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know 100%. I'm 98% sure that
there were
it
a
was
lot
German.
of umlauts and such in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I felt a German explode.
Oh, what is that noise?
Yeah, exactly. Hold on one second.
Boy, patrons, you even get this on bonus episodes.
Have to wait for him, okay? I know, but he's in the bathroom, Mommy. You have to wait. It was my sad dog.
Did you just tell your crying dog, listen, you gotta wait, and the dog's gonna understand that? The dog will be like, oh, I get it now. All right. Okay. She's busy. She's recording.
Yes. I'm like, listen, Don Johnson, he's here.
Oh, okay.
He's a cop.
I was going to say, I hope you named your dog Don Johnson.
Indeed, I did.
Listen, Don Johnson, the
With
dog.
an unusual pairing, married to Julie Kaufman.
That
I didn't.
Was crazy. Like
it wasn't.
Like, I mean, this is no offense to Marge Simpson, but I was like, she is punching well above her weight here in this relationship. But also, it's not the hot, steamy Don Johnson that we got in Miami Vice. This is like a baby Don Johnson. Like he has, he's cute, but he's not a super hunk. You know?
No, yeah, I agree.
That
I agree.
Poofy hair.
He's the rookie cop, and
he sure is.
Yeah. He's just getting to know the town, and I have to say that her performance and Cagney, or was it Lacey?
It was Cagney.
It was Cagney.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of made the movie work for me.
Oh, when it is the Kavner one-woman show when she's mopping floors and trying to attack her with a knife and trying to get ice, I was like, I would watch this for an hour.
Constantly, yeah. When she's turning on blenders and all different appliances, and just making tea. I like it when she makes the tea and pours all the liquor in it. Well, she didn't do that, but no, good.
Yeah, the plan, the plot, everything was a bit questionable, but the acting was actually pretty good.
I know, surprisingly. I'll just, not to like blow our thoughts, but I mean, it's Patreon, so I was pleasantly surprised with how I was able to get through this movie. I was really anticipating that it was going to be a rough one. Even when it first started out, again, the quality was poor, and it was definitely 80s. Yeah, I mean, or it was 1980.
It felt like the 70s to me.
Yes, it was, because so the original Stepford Wives was made in the 70s.
I think it was like
correct?
74. I think the book was written in
Okay.
72, and then they made a movie in 74. Yeah.
And then this came out then in 1980.
Right.
And even for a TV movie, I thought it was. Again, I was surprised at how well it flowed and how.
And this is when, I don't know. This is when TV movies could, I don't want to say pull in stars, because Cagney wasn't Cagney yet. Don Johnson wasn't Don Johnson yet.
Not quite the Don that we know him as.
The Simpsons weren't around. But I think TV movies of the 80s and 90s, you could pull in actors that were worth their weight, because there wasn't a Hallmark channel. There wasn't, I was going to say TLC, but they don't do movies on there. But you know what I mean? Like now, if you do like Hallmark Christmas movies, well, that's where you'll find washed up actors or young actors that might become something. But back then, you had 3 channels on TV.
Yeah, I know.
And that was something I was thinking about watching this. I was like, oh yeah, there were only 3 options. I bet a ton of people watched this. And the next day were like, did you see that young sheriff? I hope we see him at some point.
I would move to Stepford. I'd be into their creepy ways if that was the sheriff. I'm getting my water. I'm
okay.
Off screen for you, but I get thirsty when we talk about Don. I'm guessing that that this kind of takes off where the original Stepford Wives leaves out or ends.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it too much because I haven't seen it in a very long time. I did watch it. There's some things that are different in this because all right, I'll just do this off the top. In the original, and I don't remember if this was the book or the movie because I read the book and I watched the movie. The wives were actually robots.
Look at you show up.
Yeah, sorry.
I read the book and I watched the movie.
I used to read. Before the year of like 2001, I used to read. I haven't
Not
read
just things
in a very
online.
long time.
Yeah.
No, but the wives were robots. Like they were like one of the guys, and I think this was in the book. They mentioned that one of the guys that lives in this community and one of the guys that was in charge worked for Disney as like an animatronic person.
Oh, okay.
But
so he had them built.
Yeah, but they would like scoop out the wives' brains and put them into these robot women. So they like never aged, but the men would and everything. But in this, they're not robots. Kind of, but they're also controlled by remote controls.
They are controlled by remote control. They do go through something. It looked like at first when they do the whole, you call her Marge Simpson. So we'll just call her Marge Simpson.
I think her name's like Maggie or something, so it's close enough
Maggie.
to Marge.
Yeah, it is Maggie. But when she goes to get, Stepfordized, she goes in this one room and they put that thing over her head. And I thought she was getting like a beauty routine done. I thought they were going to like dry her hair all, poof it out, because they put this thing over her head like a hair dryer thingy that you use at a beauty salon. And then there's a man with all these like, I guess, computers and stuff in front of him. It looks like there's a light bright.
You mean Dr. Bowtie? That guy?
Yeah. Yes.
I love how at the end, after she is like transformed, he sits back with the most satisfied smile on his face, like, you did it again, Dr. Bowtie.
Well, because something was tricky about when she was transformed. She almost cried. Her lines went up and then down. So they had to put a little more full throttle, a little extra pegs there in the light bright to really get her going.
I was ready because in my notes, I wrote a very Jamie line. I wrote that Marge Simpson is going to have her pretty woman moment, but it ended up not being the case. I really thought.
I thought too. I thought we were going to have a little where she then wears her cute little apron and the weird collar thing that they all wear. They all have some kind of tie around their neck, which I guess signifies that they're owned by the men. I don't know.
I did enjoy... I don't know what this says about me. Yeah. I thought she looked pretty good when she was a Stepford wife. I enjoyed her new hairstyle. She did
when the big reveal happens and she has that cute little hair back. And the dresses that they put them in are a little... And then when they're together in the car and they're both wearing like these Raggedy Ann like this weird apron dress.
Are so crazy. And at every turn I was like, is the point of this to not draw attention to yourself? Because everything you're doing is going to draw more attention to this town. You cannot dress these women all alike.
When she... Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get there. Right. All right. Well, Revenge of the Stepford Wives. We don't do it. Do we? I don't know. We've only been doing this literally hundreds of times. Do we do an introduction for these patrons, or they know what they're in for?
I hope they know what they're here for. Oh, we do, and I will announce this on a regular episode, but we do have a new patron, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
She's not necessarily a new patron, but she did bump up her patronage so that she gets to recommend it for us. So I guess this is just a note to all the $5 patrons there. If you do bump that up, you can choose a movie for us to talk about on a regular episode.
Yeah, you can.
So thank you, Laura, for doing that. She gave me a little hint of what she was thinking about giving us, and it's very exciting, but also, I don't know, you could change your mind up until January. I gave her January,
we're not.
So it's like,
all right, great.
Figure it out.
All right. So she could ping-pong it around in her little noggin if she wants to. Wonderful.
Also, you had texted me about the German subtitles, and I meant to say, don't be concerned when the movie tells you that it's not Revenge of the Stepford Wives, and that it's
and it says Terror in New York.
Terror in New York. And I was like, there's nothing New York about this. This
No.
is the most like New England, Connecticut movie ever.
Yes.
Did you see, just looking around at pictures, did you see the, I guess, I don't know, VHS cover art for Terror in New York? Where it is it's almost like I'm going to say contemporary for the time, so maybe late 80s. Painting of Don Johnson, so he looks super cool. He does not look like he looks in this movie, and he has like a Miami Vice style gun next to him, and he's practically like winking. Like he looks like the hero. There's some sexy lady in a bikini. It's not this movie.
No. Because there is none of that. There's none of that. He's not even that tough in this.
No, he's the least tough you will ever see Don Johnson in anything, which I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah, me too.
But I looked at that and I was like, Terror in New York? Why? And why was that the name of this? But everybody keeps saying Stepford. I was like, why
is
would
it
you do
supposed
that?
to be Stepford, New York? Like, is it upstate
New
York or something?
No, it takes place in New England. The old movie, the book, all of it. I don't know.
Yeah, what the first little parts where the with the cop chase, and the cop chases the one couple and drives them off the cliff.
Yeah.
I really was for a second like, and with the subtitles, I was like, am I watching the right movie? And then, like you said, that and because the quality was poor when we do see Don Johnson, but he was so young and the quality was so poor that at first I was like, I don't know who this is. So it took me a minute.
Yeah, the quality is so poor. He just looks like a white fuzzball for a little while because of his hair, and it's bright and everything's pixelated. Like, he does not look like Don Johnson in this movie.
No. Then as we get into it, I realize what we're doing and where we are, and that was good. But yeah, we are not in New York, even though Terror in New York does come up in our in the beginning here. We're in Stepford.
I like
it's
how
crazy. It's a simple little town.
It starts with the text on the screen that just says 10 years later. I'm like, okay, I'm watching something called Terror in New York, and it just says 10 years later. No one said a word. There's been no credits.
There's been no before the 10 years. Yeah, we don't know what happened 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
We just know this is 10 years after something.
10 years later. And
I'm assuming after the town of Stepford was
established,
or
10 years after the original movie, I guess.
Because
you would assume that this was probably all over, like TV Guide, Revenge of the Stepford Wives. It's going to be on da-da-da. So going into this, then everybody knows what they're watching. So I guess that's the idea. But it's funny when you change the title to Terror in New York to have that 10 years later.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
And also nothing has happened. Like, it's not like a movie that has a cold open and these people are driven off the road and die, and then it says 10 years later. That's how this movie starts. So there's a couple of old guys. Also, everybody in this town, every man in this town other than Don Johnson's like over 60, right?
Yes,
basically.
They're all older men. Well, no, there's a handful, like the guys with the newer wives and the guys that talk to her at the train station.
Oh, yeah. And all the EMTs.
Yes, yes.
You're right.
But other than that, most of them, the guys that run the gentleman's club or whatever it's called, they're all, you're right, 60 and over.
Yeah.
But their wives are not.
Their wives are not, no.
There's two owners of the hotel. There's one guy that's nice to her, and there's one guy that's not so nice to her.
It was like that actor was there for a day, and they were like, this guy's not working out. We have to fire him, because after that opening scene, he's gone, and we're treated to, I don't know, a sympathetic drunk? Let's call him Walter?
Yeah. Walter. I love it.
Walter.
I love it when...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I just love...
And the German subtitles, Walter, when she screams for him, comes under. I'm like, well, yeah, of course, Walter is Walter.
I just loved him. I was just like, I just need to split a bottle of wine. Somebody's just brought this
I
wine.
like his excuse, too. He's like, some guy came and he got food poisoning and he couldn't finish his wine, so you have to finish wine with him. And I love how it looks like it's like a shady small hotel. or motel.
Yep.
But there's this beautiful bar attached to it
It's
because he offers her
gorgeous.
that cognac. Yeah,
Like the bar is part of a ski chalet. Like it's so bizarre looking. That guy's hilarious. My favorite part is when he's like, "Listen, I'll tell you all about this in just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go get more wine from downstairs. You just stay right here. Don't worry. I can't drink with my wife."
He's like, "Have you met her? She's a fucking ding dong. I can't talk
She's
to her."
a ding dong. I can't talk to her. She thinks that she knows what I need, but that's what I needed like 20 years ago. I don't need that anymore. All right. Okay, we're talking about sex, right? Go get your wine and we'll talk more later.
We'll talk. Right.
Walter's great. All right, so the movie opens with two old guys. One guy is the guy in charge of Stepford.
Yes.
And this other guy's just like, "Listen, my wife, it just didn't take. Like, it just didn't.
Yeah, we're not loving it.
It's not working on her. She's not a brainwashed idiot. P.S. I'm going to California. I guess right now." I guess he's talking to him.
I'm just letting you know we're on the way out, okay?
So the guy in charge is like, yeah, you can leave whenever you want. And then he calls the cop and he's like, "Hey, listen, you got to take care of this problem."
Yeah. This is an issue and you're going to do what you can. And they're on their way. They're driving their car and the cop is hot on their trail and is not letting them go and basically chases them off the road till he dings them off a cliff.
He rams them. I love how the car was just hanging off there and he like backs up. Like, I got to make sure I do this.
I got to get him.
After he rams him off the cliff, he backs up and like slowly gets out of his car and puts on his hat. And even takes out like a piece of paper like, "Well, I guess I got to write a report of this or something."
Yeah, this is real. I got to make sure I let them know. Let boss know that I did my job right.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, their car just fumbles down and now...
And they're totally dead.
Yeah. Whoever they are no more.
Yeah, whoever they are, whatever's happening right now in this movie, 10 years later, something happens.
Yes, 10 years later.
And now we're treated to the titular Cagney, of, like you said, Cagney and Lacey. And she is in a snazzy little orange VW bug.
Yeah, she's just cruising up in her VW. She's clearly an independent woman with a mind all her own. And she cruises into this town and she's a journalist. She's a reporter.
Yeah. I feel like there was a time, and I feel like it was 80s, probably into 90s, where it was just like a rogue female reporter, and oh no, she's gonna mess everything up because she is too independent. She's got thoughts, and she's gonna blow the whole lid off of this corporate conspiracy.
You guys look out, because she's got a notepad, and she sets up. Remember when she's setting up her little motel office? The guy who ends up not
disappearing
showing up
from
in the rest of the movie, He's like, "Boy, you got a lot of stuff." She's like, "Well, I might be doing interviews here."
Yeah.
You don't know. I don't know what she's setting up, but
it looks like just a typewriter. It looks like
a word processor. It looks like a word processor.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but that first woman she interviews,
the first interview,
I love that. I wanted to watch.
Too.
I wanted this movie to become a comedy where it's just the two of them not understanding.
I know. I was
how to
like,
work together.
couldn't you hire her? Couldn't you hire her just for the laughs? She was great.
She's got a name. What's her name?
Wait, I wrote it down. Muffin. Her name's Muffin.
I love it. So she does. Yeah. She sets up in this motel because she's in the town. She's a reporter. She's going to conduct some interviews, and it's making the guy who maybe owns the motel, maybe runs it, not sure.
Maybe he's just the night shift.
Yep.
We don't know.
Making him very uncomfortable. Once she says he's all over her until she says that she'll be conducting interviews and she's a reporter. Then he gets all freaked out and leaves. Like, comically, hilariously, he just stops talking and just turns around and walks out of the movie.
Well, now he's got to give his information. He does. He lets those men in charge kind of know. Oh, he goes to their place. Remember, he goes and they all talk around the pool table.
My God.
And they're like, "It's great that you came to us." But now we have to murder you, and they'll never see you again.
Anytime these guys are together making decisions, because it really is like, I don't know, there's a lady in our town, and she's not in Stepford way. What do we do? And they're like, okay, let's men sit around, and we'll really figure out what to do. Because one guy's like, I guess we could just kill her. It's like, no, because then more people will come.
Right. We gotta figure
Yeah.
this out.
And the one
We
guy
gotta
goes
figure it
like,
out.
we could make her one of us.
Yeah.
Then she can't leave. So I don't really know I don't know what their plan is for her. It seems that throughout the entire movie, they don't have a plan until it gets to the point where they're like, I don't know. I guess we have to kill her. I guess that's what they're trying to do eventually.
Yeah, by the end, I think they want her dead because she knows too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Well, and that's what it is. She rolls into this town. This town has a reputation for having low turnover in real estate.
Yeah.
That's why Don Johnson is there. The highest paid cops work there.
But also zero crime, which is like, wait, why is Don Johnson
why are you paying
there?
your cops so well?
I mean,
Right. Yeah, what's
maybe
going
that
on?
old cop's retiring or something. But I was like, why does Don... I mean, I guess if you're a cop, unless you're a creep cop, like, you would love to go someplace where there's no crime. And you just, like, don't have to do anything but write parking tickets all day.
Yeah. Well, it's just what he does. He's just even when he's checking out Cagney's car, he's just checking out her license. She's like, why are you checking out my car? And she's told that it's just so that he knows not to ticket it.
Yeah,
because he'll
it's
know the car.
That's a really weird thing for him to say. Like, well, it's just so that later when I see that this car's here, I know it's yours. Like, what? Wait. And also this town.
You know what? I realized there's no children.
There's no children.
You never see any kids.
No. You don't see any kids. And after this movie, in I think 88, there was another TV movie called The Stepford Children.
Well, they must have stayed in the basements because we don't see them at all in this.
There's no kids.
But they talk about how one of the qualities of the Stepford wife is she's devoted to her children.
Yeah. Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense for them to say something like that, but you're right in that there's no kid. We don't even just see kids in the background.
There's not even like pushing a stroller. Like there's none of that.
Wow, that's really weird.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's odd that this town is like, it apparently wants to be so isolated, but why would they even have a motel? Like, who's staying at this motel? And it's just like, I don't know. She's the only person other than Marge Simpson and Don Johnson who don't live here and seemingly haven't lived here in over 10 years.
Right.
It's very bizarre that they kind of run it like a regular town too. How it's just like, well, we got a pharmacist here and a lady who sells clothes. Why do you need to sell clothes? Because don't they just manufacture these clothes and that's what they wear for the rest of their lives?
Don't you all just sew your own clothing, all you Stepford wives? Isn't that how it works here? These dresses don't seem that complicated.
Whoa, Jamie, those frills and doilies might just be pinned to fabric, but I don't know. It looks
fair enough.
It's ornate.
Okay, fair enough.
I like it when she goes into the store to get something and she's like, I was thinking something more practical. And the lady in the store's like, you probably want to go to a men's clothing store.
Yeah, you want to go to the men's. She's like, I'm looking for just some like hangout clothes.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, we don't have that here.
You see my pantsuit, like something like this, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I love it too because when she sees Marge Simpson's totally Marge Simpson. She's in her pants. She's got her like tough girl New York accent going. You know, she's not. She obviously stands out as not a Stepford.
No, right, and even Don Johnson isn't one. But I guess it's pretty easy to convert men to this idea.
Yes, it is. I guess it is.
So now we see her, and we talked about this a little bit. There's a woman named Muffin sitting in her hotel room, and
she comes in for an interview.
Interviewing her because apparently she put an ad in the local Stepford paper, I guess.
Yeah, well, she needs an assistant. She needs someone to help her document these interviews and someone with good typing skills. Muffin has great typing skills.
Yeah, she really, I mean, compared to Marge Simpson, she can keep up.
Yeah, yes. But Muffin has some restrictions. First of all, it's Roy is her husband. Okay. And Roy gave her permission to come here for this interview, but she has to be home by 5 o'clock to see Roy when he gets home from work. So she cannot work nights. Right?
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Were you confused?
I thought you
Did
were...
I freeze?
Nothing.
Because you're frozen now.
So, yes, she cannot work nights. And I think that was... Of course, now you're pausing.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. All there you go. I was like, of course.
Of course, when we're talking about Roy and Muffin.
And Muffin. Roy and Muffin. Yeah. So, and Muffin, she's a muffin.
She's
a bit of a muffin.
She's like the first Stepford woman that we meet in this movie. So she's very robotic. She kind of says the same things over and over again. She has really no emotion, but seems very pleasant. But,
seems sweet enough.
But she even says, like you said, she's like, well, I can't work nights. I can't be away from my husband when he gets home. Also, I got to go right now. He's going to come home from work soon. I got to have something on the table, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I kind of wanted her to get this job. Like, I totally wanted her.
I know. I'm like, how many other people could be out there? I know, me too, because I wanted that dynamic to
Well, that's the other thing is, did the men put her up to this? Like, was Muffin sent there? Because why would you do this?
Was Muffin sent? Did they send the Muffin?
Well,
they might have put Muffin up to it. They might have said Muffin can infiltrate, but then Muffin wasn't strong enough, and they were like,
because
damn it.
When we see what these women do and don't do, I'm like, I don't think any of these ladies are opening the paper looking for a part-time job.
Well, I know that's true because they're robotic and they do what they're. But like, there's that one lady, the lady that owns the clothing shop. There's a lady that works at the pharmacy that at the end when she gets whatever, when her wires go bugger, she like pushes the pharmacist down. He's like, get back here. She like pushes them. So they do. I guess they do sometimes need jobs and work. So
that was a bizarre thing when I was watching this because I'm like, well, if all these women are brainwashed and basically, sex robots that make you food and stuff like that and do the laundry and apparently the gardening. I was like, why do they all need to hang out at this garden club and, like, talk? Like, what are they talking about?
Well, she tells us later on, Marge, when she's, like, in her, like, robot world and vacuuming and stuff, she's like, the ladies, we all get together and we talk about clothes and washing and ironing, and it's all nice to have this bond with the ladies.
But it's one of those things where I'm like, why do you program them to do that? Like, you can make them do anything. Why are you like, well, you can get together with the ladies, but you can only talk about wash. Like, just don't have them sit on the couch when they're done with their work. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I would make a more strict Stepford if I were in charge.
Perhaps you would. Perhaps you've got stricter guidelines you'd like to enforce. Why are we talking about laundry? Just do the laundry. Don't talk about it. Don't get advice about it. Just get it done.
Don't have interactions with other human beings or robots. Just hang out at home.
Just be at home, and then when you need to, charge yourself in the closet.
Right.
That's all.
Here you go, Vicky.
Yes. The original Stepford wife? No.
So this is when I think we can talk about how she meets Marge Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Because
she almost gets hit by a car. Right?
Well, that's in just a couple minutes. But
okay.
No, she meets her because this is when Don Johnson's talking to her about her car.
Oh, right.
And Marge Simpson just berates him in front of her and is like, shut up,
pretty great.
Idiot.
It's
You're
pretty
a
great.
terrible cop. Just leave her alone.
And she's like, what are you gonna be all up in her shit for? Why don't you back off a little? Come on. And he's like, why do you gotta always just like be like that with me?
He's so funny. Like, just knowing who Don Johnson is or who he became or the persona of him now and in just a few years, it's so funny to listen to him be like, come on, just let me do my job as a cop.
Just let me I won't be able to get him on probation still.
I'm on probation. I'm on police probation. I'm just trying it out. They told me to look at cars and then talk to the people.
That's what I gotta do. I don't know. So they meet because and then they kind of hit it off right away because it's clear to Cagney that Marge is not as Stepford as some of the other Stepford. Cagney has already been to the store trying to buy clothes we talked about. And she does witness then for the first time where this weird siren, this weird alarm goes off in the town.
That's so great.
All the ladies, I love it at the end when she's just pressing it over and over again. And these ladies are just popping pills.
Just gobbling pills down. I also love how in this town where they're trying to be so secretive and they're like, no, we don't want anybody from outside. The most obviously bizarre thing about this town is a siren just wails for no reason multiple times a day. And when she asks them about this, Don Johnson's even like, you know, it's just a siren. And I'm like, you don't have any cover story for this?
You don't have anything that you want to say that it's for? It's the siren, and when it goes off, all the ladies go, like the lady at the clothing store. She's popping some pills, claiming it's for her overactive thyroid.
Overactive thyroid's a big deal, because even when Marge Simpson, when she takes her pills away, Marge is like, I have a minor thyroid issue and I need to take these. It's really kind of funny. But yeah, she notices that there's this siren. And she is fast friends with Marge Simpson, because they're kind of like two peas in a pod. Because
it's kind of like Cagney and Lacey in a way.
Actually, I've never seen that. Are they two peas in a pod, or is it like like a odd couple situation?
Like a odd couple, sort of an odd couple, but it works out.
Well, these two are not the odd couple. They're both a couple of is it Felix?
Sloppy ladies.
Is Felix the sloppy one in the odd couple?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because they're totally sloppy. Because it's... I like when... what's her name? Kay? I think the character's name is Kay. When she walks into Marge Simpson's place, and Marge is like, it's kind of a mess. You can just move stuff out of the way. And Kay picks up a shirt off of a chair and throws it onto the floor. And she's just like, I think we're going to get along just fine.
Yeah, we're going to be just
And she even says to her, she's like, well, I mean, you know, when your husband, Don Johnson, when he gets home from work, like, are you okay with working late? And she's even like,
I love it. She's
she
like,
could call for a goddamn pizza.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, because she wants to make sure, because again, Muffin had a lot of issues.
Muffin had plenty of issues.
Working late, doing all kinds of things. But
I do like how
not so much Megan.
We clearly see Muffin at the end. She has a hand in pushing that guy out the window.
Oh my God! We get to the end. I don't want to spoil that yet.
And he drops like 8 feet to the ground. I was like, what floor was he on?
But then he tumbles, and then wait, you can't. Don't let me go there yet, because it's pretty epic. All right. It's the Men's Association.
Yes.
That's what sort of leads the town.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. They talk about the Men's Association.
Yes, which is kind of the rules the town.
And also at this point, just very quickly, Kay describes to Marge Simpson what an investigative journalist does. It's just like, for you, the audience, here's what we do. I come in with an idea. We have to dig around. We have to find out facts. And once we have the facts and figures, then we can sort of get beyond that. And we can do some investigating at the library. We can dig up some, history at the time. It's like, who's this information for?
It's just so that we know what she's doing there. Well, and I love it because other than having a nice personality, she's got no qualifications, Marge Simpson's, to do this job. She's like, I don't type that fast, and I really don't know shorthand at all.
Yeah, because I think that's probably why she explains it to her, because she's like, I don't know how to type. I don't even know what the hell a journalist is, but I am ready to help you, and my name's not Muffin, and that's enough for Cagney.
And now, this I wrote down. The town is on her like white on rice, like because she's new in town. Everybody in town is like, "Who's this? What's going on here?" The Men's Association is like, "What do we do about her?" And
she's new. She's exotic. Like, I don't know. I kind of get it, but it's like, other than Walter, who seems like genuinely interested in talking to a normal human being for a little bit, everyone else is just like, this is crazy. We got to get rid of her.
We don't need this lady here.
It's not just like, oh, this is a person who hasn't been affected by this town. I wonder what they're like. Like, I would figure if you're in this for so long, it would be novel and interesting for someone to come from outside, but nobody feels that way but Walter.
No, just Walter, because he just runs the hotel, the motel that nobody stays at. And he's probably like just thankful that he's got new people to conversate with. Yeah. Did we say, so Megan, or Marge Simpson, and Don Johnson, who is Andy, they are staying at the motel also because, as we did kind of say, Andy has not gotten the job yet as a police officer.
Right.
He's on probation to be a police officer. And these are the highest paying jobs. And if they get this gig, if he gets this gig, they are basically set for life.
They're set, yes. And probation basically, I think, to these guys means, all right, let's see if Don Johnson's cool with this.
Yeah, let's see if he's into this whole...
If he's not, I assume they were going to probably kill him.
Yeah,
you know?
they're going to run him off the road.
Yeah, they're not, they're not
pretty
going to
much.
let
Yeah.
him go and be like, oh, you're not down with this? Okay, you might want to find a cop job somewhere else.
Yeah, sorry. You might want to
Yeah.
get just a normal, lower paying cop job. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why they're neighbors at this motel.
Right. And that's, yeah. So now they agree. They're going to be partners, assistant. Megan's going to be her assistant. They go to the bookstore and they look at, I just wrote this down, the bookstore titles that they look at.
Oh, please, because I noticed them and I was like, should I be writing these down? No.
I did just
Okay.
because.
Yeah.
So they're first, like you said, because when she tells her about what a journalist does, I guess go to a bookstore is one of them.
Right.
The Joy of Chicken, Prunes for Health,
Prunes for Health.
and Forever Feminine.
Right, yes.
Those
and
were the
they walk
books.
out of this bookstore like giggling to each other, like
Yeah,
children.
yeah,
like,
like,
did you see that? Did you see this bookstore? Oh, hilarious. So I think this is when we can talk about the first. Well, it's our second Stepford wife that we meet, but this woman,
Mrs. Parkinson.
yes, Mrs. Parkinson. What a horrible name. First,
I
of all.
know.
Oh, this is. Did you recognize her at all?
No, who is she?
It's Mrs. Roper from Three's Company.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought okay, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
she's not dressed the same, but you
She's
can
not quite
see
ropered
it if you
out.
look.
Yeah, but no, you do see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So she
did look
goes in.
familiar.
She goes into this motel, and she's talking to Walter, a guy who we have not seen before. He's not the guy who was at the motel earlier. And she's just like, "Do you know where Cagney is?" He's like, "Oh, she's not here right now." And so she goes back out. It's in her car, and then we see that someone else has a remote control, and is like remote controlling her.
Yeah, you hear all this beeping in
Yeah.
her car coming from this little device. And it's like she's been activated now to do something.
It's a hilarious,
Oh, it is. The whole, because she adjusts her rearview mirror, and you don't know exactly what she's going to do. She's kind of parked by the pool.
Yep.
Cagney is going to get we don't see ever again that there's I guess because it got knocked down.
Right.
But there was never this vending machine outside of her room before.
No.
But right now there's a vending machine right outside of her room.
Yeah, she literally does walk outside her door and see it right there. And I'm like, we've seen so many exterior shots of this room. It was never there before.
Yeah,
It's very funny. Also, because this car's, conservatively 10 feet from this, and she hits this at what appears to be 80 miles an hour.
Yes, she goes backwards right into it. I love it because you see Cagney's face go before she hits.
The cutscenes action scenes in these TV movies are hilarious. When she hits
They're
Marge
great.
Simpson with a chair, that cut was so bizarre and abrupt. But so you see this car, she's standing right next to the vending machine. And then, like you said, it's this zoom in on her face and she's really scared. You see this car smash into a vending machine with not a person around for miles.
No.
And then
And-
Walter comes. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the very concerned Walter comes out and is like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Cagney was fast on her feet, and she was totally okay. She was a little, thrown off because someone just tried to hit her. And when she tries to talk to Miss Parkinson, Miss Parkinson's like, "Oh, it's very robotic.
There you go.
Someone has been injured. What a terrible tragedy. I am so sorry." And she's like, Cagney's like, "I'm not hurt. I'm okay."
And she's like,
And-
"Oh no, someone has been injured." "No, I'm fine. Someone has been injured. What a mistake I just made."
Yeah, I'm sorry. What a dreadful mistake. And the ambulance comes. They don't check on our friend that almost got hit by a car. They take Mrs. Parkinson away. And
It is so funny the way that these ambulance drivers react to the situation, because it appears that they're parked right around the corner just waiting.
yeah, they were just ready.
because
They
they're
were
just
keeping
there.
an eye out.
And it's so funny how they just jump out of the ambulance and grab the wrong person and take them.
Yeah.
It reminds me, and there's this Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns and Smithers are on a tandem bike.
Oh.
And Smithers gets stung by a bee and he's really allergic, and he has to pedal to the hospital because Mr. Burns won't do it. And as they get to the hospital, they collapse. And the paramedics run outside and look at both of them and just grab Mr. Burns because he's old and take him in. It reminded me of that. It was like, no, that's not the person. That's not the person.
Yeah, that's not, she doesn't need the help.
And
but I guess she does.
Yeah. And Cagney's like looking at this all, like, oh, well, she's been through a lot. But strangely enough, she's probably like, well, maybe that woman's in shock or something. Like, she was just acting very, very strange, but was also just in an accident and almost killed her.
Yes.
So I know why she's not 100% suspicious yet.
Right. Well, but then because she's an investigative journalist, she makes some calls, right? So she calls the local doctor's office. I think she says within a 30-mile radius, she's calling doctor's office. She's calling hospitals to find out if this Patterson woman has been checked in anywhere and checked out. And they can't find her anywhere.
No.
So she's
even like, I looked up Parkinson. She doesn't even live here.
Exactly. I can't even find her anywhere.
Or a phone number or anything.
I have no record of this woman. Who is she? So now her and Marge are like, all right, Marge is her assistant, her right-hand man. All right, let's figure it out. She says, well, let's go talk to Don. And maybe since Don's on the police force, he can help us with this. And Don's like, you can't bother me right now. I'm doing my work.
I'm doing police stuff.
And he's like, what exactly do you want me to do? And they're like, fill out a missing person. I don't know. No, he says, well, did you call the hospitals? And she's like, yeah, duh, we did that. But then, out of the corner of her eye, she sees Miss Patterson going into the pharmacy.
Right. Yes.
So cancel that, Don. We don't need your help. We're going to get right on it. Mm-hmm.
She's there to pick up her thyroid medication.
Yep, they all do.
Cagney sees her and is like, I am so sorry. Are you okay? And she's like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Lady.
Yeah, exactly. She's like,
what
in the world are you talking to me for? I don't even know.
Incident. Hit you with a car? I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, yeah. And now they're really like, what the hell?
And now we get a bit of we're back to the men.
Yeah.
Talking to Andy. Because the guy in charge is just like, hey, remember how good that first year of marriage was? Hint, hint, wink, wink.
You know?
Women. Like he's like. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When he's like, you know what happens to women as they get older, right? And I was like, where are you going with this? Not where I thought he was going, because he's like, they get bored. Oh,
yeah,
all right.
They get bored. They get restless. You could have a perfect mother, a perfect life, no broken homes, no alimony to pay. Doesn't that sound lovely? Doesn't that sound lovely? And Don Johnson's like, he's kind of into it, because when he says like, oh, don't you want, the lady of your first year of marriage? Don Johnson's like, oh, because again, we met Marge and we know that she can kind of bust his balls a little bit. Yeah. And
but I kind of thought that's why they would be together.
Yeah, like, that's why they're exactly. And he finds it almost endearing. He does say, he goes, I just don't want my wife to get hurt. Right. I don't want you to hurt her. And they're like, no, we don't hurt her. We're just, So it's like you said, they have to kind of get him through this initiation phase is what this is, to make sure he's on board with what the gig is here.
Yeah, it's weird.
But he's got the job.
Right, because we don't know how long he's been there. But I hope it's more than a day, because this guy is not all that convincing. And Don Johnson's this sounds good. Okay, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
So wait, you're scooping her brain out, or are you just like mind controlling? Like, what happens? Like, he doesn't ask any of these questions.
No, like later the one guy does ask a lot of questions.
Oh, that guy's hilarious. When they're just having their meeting and questionable Stanley's there with every single question.
He wants all the information. He's like, listen, my wife made this list before I even came to this meeting of the questions she wants.
That guy is so. I don't know who he was. Inquisitive. I didn't look him up, but it was just so funny because the guy in charge is just unloading this spiel, like the rules and everything, and at every turn that guy's like, yeah, but hold on, but what if this happens? Oh, wait. Why can't they drink? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. The siren gives them the pills? I'm like, what are you doing?
know. Yeah, he is. He's like, what if I wanted to have a drink with me? He's like, well, you can have a drink.
You can have as much as you want.
You can drink as much as you want. He's like, well, she's still do what I want her to do if she doesn't have a drink.
I love that because he literally is like, but without alcohol, is she gonna like be okay with me doing stuff to her? And the guy's like, not only will she be okay with it, but she'll think it's normal. And I'm like, what is this guy doing?
What are you guys doing exactly? What are you guys into exactly?
She'll think it's normal. We have your file. We know what you're into, you
exactly.
weirdo.
Maybe that's how they recruit people if they're into like weird sexual things. That's how they get to Stepford.
Oh, so
well,
also, were you going to talk about the pharmacist showing up?
Oh no.
Oh, when the guy's with Don Johnson, this is when the pharmacist shows up and he runs in. He's like, "Listen, we had a big issue."
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Cagney's been questioning her at the pharmacy and blah, blah, blah. Oh, hi, Don Johnson. And Don Johnson is even like, hey, are you, like, into this? Is it cool? And he's like, it's the best. I love to watch sports. My wife used to give me a hard time about watching sports. And you know what? A couple times I wanted to kill her. Now I don't.
Yeah. No. Now she comes in and he said, she argues with me about what teams are better and this and that. And now she comes in, she's agreeable as fuck, and I just love it.
Yeah. The only time she comes in now is to watch the game with me or to bring me a sandwich. It's the best. And I assume that's what sold Don Johnson on this.
He's like, what? Well, because he does. His eyes light up. He's like, oh, she could just bring me a sandwich and shut up.
I don't have to open that fridge and get those beers out for myself anymore when I get home from work at 11 a.m.
Oh, be great. Yeah, exactly. I just got home from work. I need to get eggs.
I do like how I was on the phone with the guy and he's like, it's almost noon and she's not here. And he hangs up and grabs a beer.
No, that's what he calls the guy. And the guy's like, I don't know. Call me back when you find her.
Oh, she's missing? I don't know. What do you want me to do? Let me know when you find her. Bye.
Nice help here in Stepford.
Way to run this crooked town, you monster.
Right after he gets the job, they get the house.
Wow, and
they
what
get this
house.
Beautiful house that Don Johnson doesn't get to see, but Cagney and Marge go to check it out.
Why is Don Johnson sitting out front in a cop car, not in the house? What is he doing?
He just knows. He knows as long as she's happy, they'll be okay. And she is. She's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. We're just going to sleep in the front room. This house is too big for us. He's like, there's an ice maker in the fridge. Look at this washer and dryer right here in the kitchen.
I did look at that and I was like, I don't even have an ice maker in my fridge and it's 2020.
You're like, man, I need to move to Stepford. Right. Yes. Jeez. Oh, but then, and they've got a beautiful garden. Everything is just right. So she's excited. She is excited, Marge, that this could possibly be her new life.
She's excited because this is really what he wants job stability and she wants that for him.
This could be potentially a good little life for them before she really knows what life here is about.
I'm just saying, for as feisty and fun as she is, we don't get a whole lot of I always wanted to do this, or I always wanted to do this.
Right.
And, even if she said something like, I saw how old that pharmacist was, and I went to pharmacy school, I kind of see a position opening up here for me.
No, she's as she tells Cagney earlier, she has minimal skills to give.
Right.
She's got a little bit of personality, and other than that, she's like, I'm just Don Johnson's wife. What do you want?
I'm just Don Johnson's wife. Guys, imagine Don Johnson married to Marge Simpson. It's great. All these lines we're saying, imagine them delivered by Marge Simpson. That's what's happening in this TV movie.
Wonderful. I know. It's so what it really does. It made me hold on to this movie so much tighter.
It almost made me want, after she becomes a Stepford wife, to someone else to dub her voice so it doesn't sound like her anymore. Because she doesn't sound, even when she's putting it on, she still sounds like Marge Simpson. And so she still seems fun and quirky, where all the rest of these ladies just seem like, the same person.
Yeah, they seemed soulless. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So
They do have a
go ahead.
conversation here in their
Yep.
garden where they both are like, Marge is kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I really like the pace of this place,
Yep.
though.
They basically just make
Right?
fun of the people. Because,
Yes.
even
Yes.
Cagney says something like, have you ever met Muffin? And
Yeah.
Simpson's like,
Yeah.
these fucking people are idiots here. Can you
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
them? And
I
they're
don't know that I
laughing
could
and
talk
having a
to
great
any of
time.
them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don Johnson also, I found this bizarre because anytime you watch TV shows or movies or in real life, right? If you bring flowers to somebody and you hide them behind your back, it's not for more than like, I don't know, 5 seconds that you reveal them.
Right.
How long is Don Johnson holding these flowers? He's turning around like his back to her. She can see that he's got flowers. He walks into the scene, wanders around a couple times, is having conversations with flowers behind his back the whole time.
He's not ready to reveal them. He's just not ready
Right.
to give them out like that. But he brings her flowers because, tomorrow they have a doctor's appointment.
How about these
They have to
flowers
go-
will help with your the physical I signed you up for.
Yes.
We
Mhm.
both have to have them for the police business.
Yes, it's something that we just will have to go through. And she's kind of on board. Sure, great. I'll do it.
Yep.
Sign me up. I'll go.
And this is when
Um,
Cagney goes, "What's that siren?" And he goes, "It's just a siren." Like, you're a cop. Like,
4 times a day the damn siren goes off. And that's what she says. But I hear it 4 times a day. It's
Yep.
like, it's just a siren.
it's just a siren. I don't know what to tell
What?
you.
What do you want me to tell you? It's just a loud ass siren that happens. Get over it. And then the next day, early in the morning, Marge goes for her physical.
And
Don's a little uncertain when he drops her off. I do like it. He drops her
Right.
off and he looks out the window and he's like, I don't know if this is the right
Yes.
thing, but I'm going to do it because this is where we are now.
yeah, this whole movie, I was a little unsure. I was like, is Don Johnson going to be revealed
Is
to
he a
be
creep?
on their
Yeah.
side? Because every time I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, I'm like, no, look at what you're doing. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're
Look at what
not
you're
cool.
getting sold
Yeah.
into. Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
how she's just laying on the table in her, hospital gown, and this doctor
Mm-hmm.
walks in, and he's got a giant needle, and she goes, "What's that for?" And she's immediately out.
Done. And then for like the next couple of scenes she's in, it's just her being wheeled around by paramedics, right?
Oh my
She's
God.
Gets
The cutting of her and those paramedics was hilarious because it's just
my
them
gosh.
putting her into and removing her from ambulances. And it was like, how many transfers do they have in this process?
Well, she's got to go to the gentleman's club to get redone. I guess that's where they have and I don't know. She's got to leave the.
I don't know
I don't
what
know.
any
She's
of
got a
this
couple
is taking
places to
place.
go.
Right. But this is when we meet
Oh.
a fun character.
Walter. Here
we
comes
saw
Walter
him
with
earlier,
his
but
bottle
we
of
really
wine.
didn't meet him.
No. Walter's lonely. He needs some conversation.
Yeah.
He makes up excuses about why there's bottles of wine to drink at his motel bar.
And he shows up to her motel room already loaded. I mean,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
Wally the character is loaded, or if it's this actor, I'm not sure.
Just
but
the actor showed up to
he
set.
shows
Like,
up,
I'm ready.
Slurred speech and all. Like, I don't know, this
Mm-hmm.
guy orders some wine, and I gotta drink all this wine. I kind of figured maybe you want to drink some wine with me. Want to go and get loaded?
She's like, yeah, I could use a glass. And then he starts to tell her some things. Right?
Yeah, he says his wife isn't allowed to drink.
Mm-hmm.
I've changed as a person, and she still treats me like she did years ago. All the stuff we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And also when he's like shit talking his wife, I like how she shows up and like looks over at them.
She's just
creepily.
like lurking at them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who even knows if she could hear them? I don't know. Maybe he could turn down
Right.
her speakers.
And she's even
Yeah.
like the whole time she's like, Wally, I don't know what's going on here. This seems really weird. You seem kind of like the most normal person here, which is saying a lot. If this guy seems like the most normal person here, and she's even like, listen, tell me what's going on here. And at that moment, he's like, we're all out of wine. I gotta go get us some more wine. I was like, and then I'll come back. I'll tell you anything you want to know. It'll be great. Let me just go get some more wine. And she's even, as he gets up to leave, she's even like, no, Wally, wait, talk to me.
Yeah,
for a
wait.
minute."
Yeah, give me the goods, Wally. Give me the goods now before you get too shit-faced.
Yeah. But he's probably going to go in the back and then come out and be like, I don't know, somebody just left this wine in the back and it's open, so I guess I got to drink it.
You gotta drink
Just drink this wine.
Love your sloppy drunk muttering. Is it Mrs. Parkinson that's now back? It's Mrs. Parkinson. Because it's not.
Because the lady who tries to attack her with a meat cleaver is not the same one.
That's awesome, by the way.
That was awesome because she smacks
lady.
the hell out of this lady.
Yeah.
This robot lady.
So, yeah, I think it's Mrs. Parkinson that walks robotically toward her, and
I think it is, too.
Cagney even looks over.
Is she their, designated killing machine?
I think she's the hitman. I think she's the designated hitman. I know, because clearly she's not good at it. She couldn't run her over.
No, she's
seemed like a simple enough task.
Stepford ladies, I'm like, can't she get Muffin?
But she's the wife. Wait, can't Muffin do some of this work? She's the wife of the owner of the Gentleman's Club, though.
Yes.
So maybe that's why. But when she starts stumbling around, Cagney's like, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need something?" And she just keeps walking creepily towards her and not answering. So Cagney's starting to freak out. She's like, "Why won't you answer me? Why won't you answer me? Why won't you answer me?"
And it is creepy because it's the middle of the day, but this bar is dark. This ski lodge bar is very, very dark.
Very dimly lit.
And it's a fun scene, too, because she, runs away. And none of these Stepford wives are running, but there's, like I said, there's 3 of them. So anytime she turns around, there's another one creepily walking toward her. Mm-hmm. And
she runs through the kitchen, and that's when the meat cleaver almost gets her.
Yep.
And she slaps that meat cleaver. And then she locks her. She runs back to her hotel room and calls Don Johnson and is like, "I need your help. They're trying to kill." He, P.S., is this when he's 2 beers in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sitting at his kitchen table sipping some beers. There's 2 beers in front of him. And she's like, I need your help. You need to call a squad car. He's like, "Oh, come on." And I think she even says, like, "Well, where's Marge? Where is she?" She's like, "She's visiting her mother. She'll be back. Just leave her alone."
I like how twice they've asked him for help. Him to just do his police business. Like, can you fill out a missing persons report? I'm just a policeman.
How am I supposed to do that?
Someone tried to kill me with a meat cleaver. Shut up. Come on, it's fine. Don't worry about it. All right.
Yeah. He's basically like, now you're starting to scare me. All right?
These beers are not going to drink themselves in this gigantic house.
Because he just hangs up on her.
That's 2 feet in circumference.
Well, I'm not hanging out in the garden. That's for ladies. Yeah. So she is panicked, and Don Johnson won't help her.
Right.
And now we see all these ladies in these weird purple gowns with these towels on their heads. Like, again, I thought this was the makeover scene. Where all these ladies
take them off and be like, "And here's your new hairstyle."
Yeah, exactly. Here's your Stepford hairstyle. Here's your Stepford outfit. So there's a bunch of, maybe there's a handful of new ladies.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5
community.
of them that all showed up in town at the same time, I guess.
Yeah. I guess they're all the new ones. Yeah, I guess. And this is when they put the thing on her head we were talking about earlier. It looks like a hair dryer thingy. And they basically reprogram her.
Yes.
Or Marge to be more Stepfordy, and they give her prescription.
Yep.
Which should keep her in line. She's got to take these pills 4 times a day, and this should keep the whole reprogramming going. And they should be all set. They give her a new haircut.
I like it when earlier when Cagney sees Mrs. What was her name?
Parkinson?
Yeah, sorry, I almost called her Alzheimer. So when she sees Miss Parkinson put her prescription bottle in her purse, it's just a blank label on it. Like they zoom in on this, and her eyes get really big. Like, what's going on around
here?
What
is in there? Yeah,
blank labels.
Oh, because they all get the same generic white bottle, I guess. Kay finally goes, Cagney.
Yeah.
Tries to go to Bombay, goes to talk to Andy at his house, and is like, where is Marge? And he's like, I told you she went to visit her mother. Fucking Cagney's right on that. She's like, I called her mother. She's not there.
She's like, I called her mom. You don't think I know her mom's number? You don't think she gave me that in the 2 days that we've been friends?
I'm an investigative journalist. You don't think I can find these things out?
It.
And then he's like, you know what? You're too cynical for
Yep.
her. She used to like you. He says something like, she used to like you. She's like, what do you mean used to like me? Where is she?
It's
What
a whole
happened to
dumb
her?
thing where it's like, you'll see her again. Don't worry. She'll be back tomorrow or something like that. Whatever.
Uh-huh.
And how does she get to this weird little garden party, this bizarre little coming out party that they have for these ladies?
I don't know, but I like it how all these ladies are dressed sort of Stepfordy. Some of them more conservatively Stepford, but they all have these long, flowy, white or light pink dresses on. And Cagney shows up in this short, bright pink, low-cut dress. And never is this a giveaway that somebody's in the midst that doesn't belong.
How does nobody see her or notice that she's here? They're all dressed like the extras in Sweet Liberty were. Like they're dressed for some southern
war,
like cotillion. Or it's so bizarre. And you're right. She's got like this tight, bright, like burning hot pink dress on, and she's weaving her way through the crowd. It's the most conspicuous thing you would ever see. But she sees that these ladies are being introduced, like, look at our new residents. And they cap it off by Marge Simpson walking out and not being nearly as feisty or interesting as she was before. But you get her off those meds, she becomes way more interesting.
Oh, yeah. Then she's a lot of fun. I like how in the car she just snaps out of it. She's like, what the hell? What am I wearing? Where am I?
So this is when, as we were talking about before, these women get introduced and the men go inside to have a conversation where this guy lays down the rules.
Yes.
It's basically like they got to take their pills. They got to take it 4 times a day.
No liquor, no drugs.
What was that?
No alcohol.
Right, yes.
It's no liquor, no drugs, no vacation.
Yeah, I love
because they can't leave. And
yeah, it's just like the siren will remind them when to take the medicine. So that's why we kind of recommend that you don't go on vacation.
Yes, yeah.
And this is when that other guy's just asking all the questions about everything.
Oh, yeah.
And Cagney's hiding around the corner listening to all of this. And, of course, Mrs. Parkinson walks up to her and is like, hey.
She's on it.
How you doing? And even Cagney turns around and is like, hi, how are you? And she just walks away from her.
Yeah, she's just like, good to see you.
Yeah.
And keeps on going.
This is also a really funny part because Mrs. Parkinson walks up to her husband, the guy in charge of this, and whispers in his ear, and you literally hear her go, psst, 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 TV reporter. Psst, psst, psst. This is so great. But he's on to her, and she just has to run away.
She just books it. She's running behind fences. We don't know where she is, but she's just running.
How about when she finds that random phone booth just in the middle of the street?
Oh, yeah. This is when she makes the phone call to the state police.
Yep.
And the state police can't be contacted. She leaves her purse there because Don Johnson finds her purse.
Yep.
In the meantime, Don Johnson has to be on this case of find Cagney.
It's like all hands on deck. You gotta find Cagney. Listen, Marge Simpson, I might not be back tonight, but there's plenty of housework to do. Keep yourself busy.
Did you see the size of the plants in their house? Like, there's plenty of plants to water, for crying out loud.
She does water a plant. He leaves and she goes and waters one of the little plants there by the door.
Because they're huge.
And
I do he leaves and she waters a giant house plant. She puts on the record player. At first, I'm like, oh, maybe she's going to put on some, like, funky, jazzy music that's going to help, like, reawaken her to, like, oh, yeah, I'm a cooler. But no, she puts on some Stepford-y wives.
Yeah, she puts on the score to Revenge of the Stepford Wives. Like, that's what she puts on. It's just an instrumental, and she's totally down with it.
She goes into the kitchen, and she looks at the floor, and she goes, well, that just isn't shiny at all.
I got to tell you how much fun I was having at this point just
watching her. Yes, me too, watching her. I
act
agree.
like a Stepford wife and walk around and being like, this character was so fun and so, I keep saying feisty, but I was like, I kind of like her as a Stepford wife too. Like,
I know.
She's super
really
fun.
I agree.
Because it gives you an idea, and this is one thing we don't see in this movie. We see it a little bit in the original. We don't see them go about their daily business, because we're following
Right.
this out of towner the whole time.
Right, we're
So
following the journal.
this is
right.
finally when you see what they do all day, which is look at the floor that they just apparently mopped and go, well, that's not nearly shiny enough, and they have to
And we
just
gotta
mop it
shine
again.
that up. Yeah. And then she just starts cleaning it again. The alarm goes off. She's got to take her pills. Well,
Uh-oh.
now Cagney's here.
Mm-hmm.
Cagney's here. She wants to save her friend.
She's here. She took her pills. She
Mm-hmm.
goes, you want these pills? You want these pills? I know this isn't how she was acting or anything. And she just puts them right down the drain.
Right down the drain. Uh-huh.
And the whole time, Marge Simpson is just so calm and just like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. I really need those pills. I have a mild thyroid condition. And grabbing a knife, just walking toward her. As
Yeah,
she's
and just
saying-
flailing at her, just like, you need to give me back. And meanwhile, Cagney's ducking and weaving from this knife.
Yep.
When finally, like you said, she hits her with the chair, right? Isn't that what she hits her
That chair, she raises a chair above her head to hit her in a two-shot.
Oh, she
and then
went to give her.
What?
She goes to give her back her pills first.
Right,
Yeah.
yes. But she brings the chair kind of down. It cuts to a close-up of her face, and then
Yes.
Marge Simpson's already on the floor. The chair's kind of resting on her. It's really, really bad editing, but super fun. And she makes her boozy tea.
Yeah. She spikes the tea up real good. But it's interesting because she won't even have the tea unless she said, it's almost like the trigger word is, Andy said we should have
Right,
tea
yes.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Andy thinks you should drink a lot of tea. So she starts sipping the tea, and then a little bit, it's like the glitch starts happening, right? A little bit of malfunctioning
Right.
starts to happen.
Mm-hmm.
She gets up. This is when she starts turning on all the appliances and vacuuming
Yeah.
and talking about the women's club and just talking about her ice maker.
It's super
And-
fun. It really is
Yeah,
fun.
no, it really is. Yeah, no, I agree.
And you do see sort of a change happening, but it's not really until Andy gets home and he finds out that she's gone.
Yes, she's missing. He's looking all around for her, and she's gone. And that's when he calls the one guy, and he's like, "My wife is gone. I don't know. She's not here." He's like, "Well, call me when you find her."
Call me when
I don't know
you
what to
find
tell
her.
you.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what
P.S.
to tell
Have
you.
you murdered that reporter yet? Because
Yeah, exactly.
that's what you're
Basically,
supposed
he's
to
like-
be doing.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're home without the reporter? Well, then
Mm-hmm.
what the hell?
So he hears something though outside, and he goes out
Yes.
to, I don't know, the tool shed, the
Like the
garage.
shed, yeah,
Don't know
yeah.
what's happening, and he sees her. He sees Marge Simpson like just messing around with tools. I think she has a bag of flour, and she's like dumping it like all
Yeah.
over his workbench. It's so bizarre, and we saw Cagney hit her with a chair. She hits him with a 2x4 just to knock him out. Marge Simpson does play with his gun like a toddler for a second, and then she's able to grab that
she's
away
kind of
from her.
fascinated with it. Yeah, she talks it out.
Yeah.
Marge, give it to me.
And
Marge.
then she calls Wally for help because she's like, "Listen, everybody in this town's a mess. I know what's going on. You seem like the most rational, normal human being. I need your help."
Mhm.
And she tells him, to meet her, I don't know, in the town square or something like that.
Mm-hmm. She wants him to distract when she drives out of town.
Oh, that's okay.
Right?
So that's
I
what's
think
going
that's the
on.
plan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Wally, he's already told the
shady.
bad guys.
Yeah, he's a little bit shady, that Wally.
But she knows that he's going to tell the bad guys. Like, it's a whole dumb thing. Because
Yeah, it's-
now Marge Simpson's back to normal. But now she has disguised herself as a Stepford wife also. And she's like, listen, I know everybody's going to be in the center of town. They're all going to be together. My plan's going to be perfect. It's almost like just, let's get everybody out of their homes so we can rob them when they're not there. Like, that's what this is.
yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no. So, her plan is to leave on the train. Like, get everybody
Yeah.
into the center of the town, and we'll leave
So
on the
that-
train.
Nobody's right.
So she does this. Like, they both go to the train
They get
station.
to the train station.
They have to pretend that they're Stepford wives, And
They're
this is
dressed to the nine like Stepford wives.
this is when we see that most of the men in this town don't work in this town. They all take the train, and all their dumb wives like meet them at the train station.
This is where they go. I think Muffin even mentioned she's got to meet him at the train. This is where we do see some of the guys, some of the husbands are a little young.
Right, yes. I mean, this is when we see the guys that were just initiated or whatever.
Yes,
You know, the guy with all the questions in the world is there. And he's still, like, the most obnoxious human being because Cagney's able to just sneak onto the train.
Yes,
And this questioning guy is like, hey, Marge Simpson, why are you here? Your husband's a local cop in town. He wouldn't be on this train. Why? And she's like, he told me to meet him on the train. And the guy's like, hey, Barry, was he on the train? Like, would he be on this train?
Would he ever be on this train? I don't think he'd ever be on this train. I think you're having an issue. I think you might need to come with us right now.
We better walk you back into town.
Marge doesn't. At first, she's like, "No, he's going to worry about me. I should just get back."
Yep.
But she's kind of got no choice. And we see Cagney leave on the train.
Or so we think.
So we think.
Yes.
So we think.
Also, I like how now we cut to the big bad guy, the guy in charge of this town, and he's with Marge Simpson, and he's treating Marge Simpson as an evil villain would treat James Bond. He's walking around with her so casually, being like, well, now you've stumbled onto our deep, dark secret. And it works really well, and everything's been so fine, but we got to get you back in there, and we're going to deprogram you, just like last. Like, it is such a strange conversation that they're having. But, surprise.
Guess who's here with a gun?
Cagney. I'm sure she had a gun a lot in Cagney and Lacey.
Yeah, she did.
She has him at gunpoint in his office and is like, hey, Marge Simpson, time to a chair. This is going to be great. Just get ready.
Marge Simpson's like, with what? She's like, I don't know, anything. Just get something to tie him up with.
He's like, fine stuff. This was going to be a cool plan. Stop
Come on, just don't question. Just let's get to it. So then you could see it dawns on Cagney that one way to help control these ladies is to control that siren.
Right.
So they literally make the siren go off like every 2 minutes. It's just constant in this town.
It's not even every 2 minutes. It's like 30 seconds. The one woman puts a pill in her mouth, chews it up, and then goes, "Oh, here's another one." It's really
and I think
funny.
it's Walter's wife. Walter's like, you just took one of those, and the clearly there's a malfunction in the alarm, and she just keeps eating them.
Walter's hilarious in that he's supposed to be a sympathetic character, but we didn't talk about earlier.
He hates his wife.
We first meet him in that bar with his wife, and he's talking to Cagney, and his wife's there, and he's like, didn't you like clean the kitchen or something? And she's like, but I just clean it again. Okay, all right, Walter, relax.
Walter's had it up to here with Stepford Town.
Yeah,
but he
Walter's
can't get out because
burnout.
he'll be murdered.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, at first Marge Simpson gets a little freaked out by the siren because she's not 100% cured.
Right. So she's got to cover her ears.
Also, I like how this is Cagney's plan is this siren. But when the guy's talking about the pills, Mr. Question Man is like, "Well, excuse me, what if they take too many pills?" And the guy goes, I don't know what'll happen. So Cagney has no idea. It's not like she understands that this will, because it doesn't even snap them out of it. Like, they're still robots. They just turn into evil robots.
Yeah, it like short circuits them a little bit. It sends them off into into like angry mode.
Yeah, and suddenly a turn that makes no sense. Don Johnson's finally like, well, I'm a good guy now, and he punches out the old cop. He's on their team totally, and he even goes up to the office where the buzzer is, and Kay's like, guys, we need to split up. That's the only way we're going to make this, which makes no sense.
No, I know. Why? Yeah. And even Marge is like, no, we need to stick together. We can't. And Don Johnson's like, no, we should. You come with me. And he tells her, I love it. He looks at her. This is when he heard them say, or you see the subtitle say, I love you. I'm guessing in German. But he tells her, like, I love you so much, and I just want to be with you, because they're still not sure. They don't know. They didn't trust Wally. Do you trust Don Johnson?
And this is when we need like a fun line from Marge Simpson,
Yeah.
like, you brainwashed me, you putz, or something. But
Yeah,
no, there's
yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be like, those kids will be all right.
Yeah, yeah. Like, look, she's back to doing her same old shtick with
Yeah.
him. Yeah, we don't get that, though. But it's okay. But it's okay.
It's okay.
Kay stays behind so that she sends them on their way.
Right.
She's got to keep that siren going. She's got to get these ladies to really...
Right. She's got him in the siren. But also downstairs, I don't know why they have him tied up downstairs, but they do. But Parkinson's wife shows up, and he gets her to untie him. No problem.
Yes. Yeah, she's not quite malfunctioned yet.
So he goes up, holds Kay at gunpoint, and is like, you're coming with me. They start to walk down these steps.
Oh, boy.
And what do we see? We see a horde of Stepford wives at the bottom of the
Yep,
stairs.
they're coming in. They're coming for him. And they just storm at him. They just come at him.
Crazy. Because they push him out the window, a la, Flowers in the Attic. But he only falls like a few feet.
Yeah, there's like a little like balcony or something he falls onto. He doesn't. But then somehow he gets on the ground. All these ladies gather around him.
Yeah.
Right? And they just start stomping him. They
kick stomp this old man to death. It's kind of super awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. And she's just watching. Now, I don't know how your recording was, and or your viewing was.
Sure.
But this is like at 1 minute left.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is how we're ending this.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say a minute, like 30 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, we're just about it because it's just an ending. Like,
there's no wrapping up.
Okay.
There's no we made it out of town. There's no voiceover. There's no, and then I wrote the greatest article of my life.
Right. And Stepford was gone, and Wally became the new mayor, and
no, it's just nothing. It's just the end.
Yeah,
done.
Well, that's what happens when you fuck with women. I
guess so.
Yeah. Revenge of the Stepford wives. They stomped the shit out of them.
They totally stomped. Yeah. Because when he fell, I was like, well, he was an old man. Maybe the fall did kill him. But when they're stomping on him.
Well, then they slowly gather around him, and then you just see all their feet going.
Yep. Yeah. They just look like a bunch of zombies stomping this old guy.
And I think you're right.
Out.
I think Mittens, what's her name? Muffin is there.
Yeah, Muffin's there when they push him out the window. I can clearly see her. She's like head of the pack. Yeah. No, this was super fun. I would have really loved to have watched Splash 2 had we been able to find it in English.
True.
But I enjoyed this for all the reasons I said. Like, it's fun to see a very young Don Johnson. Like, this movie was super goofy, dumb, and entertaining enough to where I was not bored by it at all.
No, same here. I totally agree. I was ready to be bored and to just have this movie drag. Even I saw it's only like an hour and 35 minutes, and even that, when I first saw it, I was like, all right, well, we'll get ready.
Strap in for an hour 35.
Strap in. And it breezes by. It's really fun to see Marge Simpson. Well, and it, yeah, I liked it. I was really surprised that I had a good time watching it.
And that's another one of those things where I feel like, because when you made these TV movies, you had such a large audience. You had to do something that was at the least entertaining. Yeah. Because I'm even thinking about, last year, what did we do? Hollywood Madam or whatever that was?
Oh,
that was just as dumb and just as fun.
I agree. These have been pleasant surprises. Yeah. And you know what? This summer of sequels is like the waves of the beach. The waves of the ocean. Some are up and some are down. Yep. Some knock you off your feet. And some you could ride. And this was a nice ride, this Revenge of the Stepford Wives. Yeah. I think we both enjoyed it.
Yeah, it really was.
Good for the patrons.
This was great.
Good for us.
And thank you, patrons. Thank you so much, as usual.
As always.
We try and get you guys this bonus content. We hope that you enjoy the unedited episodes. I kind of like being able to put out 2 versions of each episode that we do. I always find that kind of entertaining, in that you get to listen to the first 15 to sometimes 20 minutes of the episode that nobody else gets to hear.
Just the unedited.
Yeah,
You love it.
yeah. So
you love
hopefully,
it.
hopefully
The
you
behind
do
the
love it.
scenes.
Yeah. I will say our next scheduled bonus episode is October 1st.
Ooh.
And it will be a horror movie sequel.
Of course it will be.
Oh.
Because we keep going with these sequels.
Sequels will take us to the end of October.
This is classified as a horror.
Okay. Sure,
as
why
a
not?
sci-fi horror, because
Yeah.
that was another reason why when I first clicked on it, I'm like, is this the right movie? A horror sci-fi? But I guess because they're programmed women and
Jamie, what is more horrifying than women who think for themselves and
shut
are
your
journalists?
face.
I can't think of anything
very
terrifying.
much so.
Yeah. So I did want to let our patrons know that I will actually put out 2 other bonus episodes. These are just me bonus episodes.
Oh,
Jamie, sorry.
I love it. It's okay. A little just DP.
I think I told you, Jamie, that first of all, I do collect movies. I collect physical media and stuff like that. And I think I let you know that I'm trying to get every horror movie we covered on disc.
Yeah.
So all the ones I have, it's just me talking about the movies, like going back, talking about what we said about it, and sort of describing if you were to purchase it, what you might get. There are 2 that I don't have, Jamie. One is Cheerleader Camp.
Ooh.
Because I just can't find it. Like, there's a DVD out there, and they haven't made it in a while, so it's very expensive. And I'm not going to
Leif
spend
Garrett
money.
has it. Yeah.
I know. And I cannot bring myself to pay any money for, now I can't think of the name of it, Maximum Overdrive. I cannot. There's something. Listen, I bought Cat People. And now I'm so happy that I bought Cat People.
Yeah, you want Cat People in your life. You don't want Maximum Overdrive.
I cannot bring myself.
Even with Estevez, you won't. You won't bend.
I won't.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Not in the collection.
Yeah, so there's a couple of episodes of that coming out, I would say, probably in
good for the
September.
listeners. Good for you. They're going to love that.
So if you listen just for Jamie, you can skip this. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, you're going to like to hear DP solo. You might find it very, very much more soothing.
All right. But that's it for us, and we will talk to you 1 week from today. I think our Mad Max episode comes out, so we'll talk to all of you then on a regular episode. Again, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really do appreciate it.
We do. Thank you very much.
And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Basically, they can take care of themselves, but there are a few rules. One is the pills, for instance. 4 times a day. That's absolutely essential. The siren will take care of that. That's why we encourage you not to take them away on vacation, by the way. It's just too easy to forget without the siren. And no liquor. It has a very disorienting effect. Of course, we taught them they don't like it, but don't you tempt them. And no drugs, unless Doc Trent is okayed.
I mean, not even a drink before dinner?
Well, you can have as much as you like, Gary. But if you give her any, you're working against what we've accomplished.
But without alcohol, will she do what I want?
She'll not only do it, she'll think it's natural. Now, the important thing is to avoid overstimulation. In essence, what we've done is to pen up all their aggressive, assertive instincts. Now, if you overload that mental circuitry, you'll confuse them. And all that energy that should go into cooking and cleaning will spill out into less desirable areas.
What if they take too many pills?
The result could be dangerous. But remember, we control the siren.
Hello there. How nice to see you.
It's like a flash flood.
How are you? I'm very well, thank you.
Most of the time.
And you? Well, you will excuse me, won't you?
Anyway, keep everything in hand and do as you're told.
Dears, excuse me. I think there's something you should know. The TV station is here.
Andy.